Hey, welcome back to another episode of Grid Gone Wild. I'm Nathan with EG4 Electronics, and today we're going to be talking about our PowerStation, the mission control of our modern grid EG4 ecosystem. Today I'm out here with Mr. Royce Naylor. Royce, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your background is with EG4?
How's it going, guys? I am the channel manager over on the EG4 side of everything. That's not a great way to describe myself. But
You know what, man? You are kind of a, let's call you a Renaissance man, right? You're a master of all, jack of all trades kind of guy.
Very true, very true. Yeah, I mean, from everything from, going out there and finding sales to now I'm coordinating the guys that are doing that. So I'm not really sure what to say about myself. That's not.
Well, I mean, so just I know a little bit of background. Me and Royce are friends outside of our professional careers. Couple years with the industry, right?
Yeah.
Started with Signature Solar, our distribution, sister company.
Very true.
Came over to EG4, did some business development stuff with, going out getting sales, traveling, doing that kind of deal. Jumped over onto the coordination side. I know you helped my team out a lot with scheduling, technical trainings, sales training, stuff like that. So I know you've been involved in that. I know kind of we've had some, let's call it some organizational changes lately. My team kind of got moved back over to the sales side. You're kind of more on the business development side now versus being on the sales side. It's great to have you on the show, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited to be here. I'm surprised somebody let us do this together. So
probably not a good idea. But getting into it, man. Want to talk about PowerStation, right? Something that was really kind of driven by our customer base, right? Guys would call in and go, "Hey, I'm trying to find this documentation," or how do I get training? So what we did is, myself, you, a couple other members of the team got together and said, "Hey, let's consolidate all of this data."
Exactly.
And get all this information kind of consolidated. So tell us a little bit about, kind of where we're at with that and what that looks like for all the installers out there that are looking to become an EG4 installer.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it in a great way. Whenever we were, like you said earlier, I've been involved in a lot of different facets. So whenever it came to finally trying to collect data and, streamline some of the processes, I had a large view of ways that could help our customers and ways that could help our internal team as well. And what I found within talking to you and every other team was that we just needed a centralized place to put all of our documentation, all of our branding materials, all of our monitoring system, and pretty much everything that you need to be successful in the field or on the sales floor, we have on the EG4 PowerStation.
So our TSBs, another great source of knowledge, right? Our technical bulletins. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for any kind of information, compliance, regulations, certifications,
education,
CEC stuff,
all the Asians,
all of them, right? So how do customers within the EG4 ecosystem, or people that are interested in becoming an EG4 installer, how do they get access to that PowerStation? What does that kind of look like from your scope of work?
So right now we have it to where you can access or request registration to the PowerStation, and once you request that, we will connect you with, depending on what region you're in, with your installer. You'll probably have a quick discovery call.
Or with your account manager.
What'd I say?
You said installer.
Oh,
the installer's the one reaching out.
Correct. Yes,
There it
account
is.
manager. That's the one. So we'll connect you with an account manager who will probably have a quick discovery call with you, kind of see what you're about, what kind of number of installs you're doing, what type of installs you're doing, and from that we'll go ahead and get you in the system. Once you've been approved and are able to log in, it is mandatory on the Elite Installer side that you go through the LMS, which is our learning management system. Mm-hmm. You can knock it out in probably 4 hours. After you've done that, you have full access to the entire dashboard. Like I said, it includes all of our forms. Okay, with you having all of your installer experience that you've had, what is one of the main things that installers have an issue with whenever they're out there in the field and something goes wrong, whenever a product, malfunctions?
Sure. So, I do have a pretty extensive background. If you guys have followed the show for any length of time, I've been in the industry 11 years. I've done everything from procurement through installation. I'm a licensed electrician in the state of Arizona. So I've got a lot of background. Mostly, number one, the big thing I see guys do, there's a lot of other manufacturers, and I'm not going to bring them into this, that have a university-type learning platform.
Right.
And unfortunately, in a lot of those scenarios, you can just kind of click through them, right? And you can just kind of guess, get the answers wrong, come back and redo it. Don't do that. Stop it. Pay attention, learn the material. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You're not going to have to call me. My time is going to be a little bit more valuable to help out, Royce and some other guys, newer installers that really need the help. Take the time, learn the material. A couple of things I see a lot, commissioning. People don't understand the commissioning process. We're a little bit out of the scope of what you would see with, some other major manufacturers in the industry. I'm not going to name the top three. You guys know who they are. So that's a big one. Settings and parameters. When you get into like traditional grid-tied systems, not ESSs, not hybrid systems, but just your traditional grid-tied, they're very rudimentary. They're very simple. And guys that have installed those for any length of time, moving over into an ESS system or a hybrid system where it'll operate in an off-grid mode, is really kind of a hard transition to make. Guys don't understand how that voltage move goes from DC to AC, back to DC for battery storage, things like that. And our system is very programmable. You have a lot of different setting variations. I mean, we can change everything from connection times, battery state of charge, voltage. We're lead acid compatible. If you choose to go that route, don't do it. So there's a lot of that, and the PowerStation is going to take care of a lot of that. And then on the back end, I mentioned organizational changes. We're kind of going to move our model away from reactive training into a proactive model.
Absolutely.
So we want to get these guys trained before they go out in the field and start making mistakes.
For sure.
So that's a big one. Installation best practices. That's another big one. If you're not reading the installation manual, you're not doing the training the way that you're supposed to, and you're just kind of clicking through it to get a certification, you're not going to understand best tips and tricks.
You're setting yourself up for failure, really.
100%. And then what's going to happen, right? You set yourself up for failure, then you call me, and I'm not going to be happy, right? Because I know you didn't do the training. I installed. I didn't read the manuals either. Please do. It just makes my life a little bit easier. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to make more money, right? These guys are getting paid to get in, out, and off a job site.
Exactly.
So if you're out there and you're doing this install and you're not learning the process, then you're only hurting yourself, because guess what? When it doesn't work, you're going to go back out there.
Exactly.
And now you're losing money, because I'm telling you, if you were my guy, I'm not paying you to go back out and do something that you should have done the first time.
Well, that's the main thing, whenever it comes to installers, is time is money.
That's right.
Whenever, you go to put up an inverter and turns out straight from the time you purchase it and you go to put it up, something's not working right, that's a headache,
Sure.
And from that, if you have a tablet accessible out there in the field, you can go out and get on your PowerStation on the tablet and have access to all of your documentation, all of your warranty guidelines, and RMA forms. So instead of calling into tech support and then trying to talk through tech support and all these different things, you can go to your, we do recommend that you call into tech support if you can and kind of see what may be going on. That being said, if you really need to, you can go in there, go to an RMA form, put the information that we request, hit submit. We'll get that over to our tech team. And as long as you give us that information, 9 times out of 10, if it's actually a product malfunction, they'll be able to identify that and approve your RMA request. And it just streamlines the entire thing, so that at that point, we can contact your distributor. You can go straight to them, pick up your new product, and be back out putting up a new inverter by the end of the day.
So just doing a hot swap, basically, right?
Basically a hot swap.
Once we approve that RMA process, we can go ahead and get them in contact with their distribution partner, whoever that is. We've got, I think, 16 of them now.
Quite a few.
We're Canada, the U.S. I'll actually be in Puerto Rico here, not this following week, but the week after we're going to do a nonprofit install. I don't know what the building is. I've heard that it's for children and women that are in need of some services. Mm-hmm. So we went ahead and donated some equipment to that. With the RMA process, something I want to touch on really quick is I would tell you that 99% is installation error. It's very, very rarely faulty equipment.
For sure.
It could be a remote update, right? Maybe we need a new firmware update to take care of some bugs that may be from a previous update. Mm-hmm. So that's a big one. A lot of times an update will solve or resolve a lot of those problems. So yes, the RMA process is important, but before that, contacting tech support is really going to help drive and determine, was it an installation error or did we have a faulty piece of equipment? Electronics break, right? We've all
Right.
bought a VCR, a DVD player, a TV, a PlayStation, whatever it was, and we've had issues with it. So it does happen. Unfortunately, electronic things break. Mechanical things break. Cars break down.
Right.
You don't go to Ford every time your car breaks down. You take it to a mechanic. Our tech team is that mechanic. So utilize the services that we're providing to you, and then we can determine, hey, do we need to get you a new car, or is it something we can just slap a belt or a battery in and call that a day?
Right.
So that's something I'm really, really passionate about. Go through the process, work the system, utilize the benefits that we're providing for you as an installer.
For sure. No, I mean, absolutely, touche. Whenever it comes to stuff like that, you're Neil Armstrong. I'm just Houston Command Center. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it. So I know we talked a little bit about the RMA process and where that forms. Let's talk about what is the PowerStation as a whole, right? What opportunities are in there outside of the LMS? We've talked about that. We've talked about the RMA process. We've talked about our technical bulletins that we've got, our white papers. If you have any issues with compliance issues, AHA requirements, utility interconnection agreements, we can go through all that. What other features do we have out there on PowerStation that would be beneficial for our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. We have sizing tools on there now. I believe we have inverter sizing on there right now. We're going to be
But you're talking about the string sizer.
Yes, the string
Okay,
sizer.
perfect.
And then we're also going to have our battery sizer on there as soon as it's complete.
Okay.
And so basically, whenever both of those are up there, instead of you don't even have to do the work anymore at that point. Instead of having to try and figure out all of that stuff before you can quote something, you can just get to quoting. And that definitely helps internal sales teams that may not be as tech savvy.
Sure.
Whenever they're on the phone with the customer and they need numbers that are accurate right then to be able to get a quote sent out, we're already offering that to you. Let's see here. We allow our distribution and installers to be able to upload pictures of them out on location doing an install, or maybe if they just caught us talking to somebody at an expo or something, you can upload those pictures and have the possibility of being featured on one of our websites or ads or something like that. We just want to show that EG4 is about the community and how the community reacts to how we react with them. So
Sure. But let's just go back to what EG4 stands for, right? Energy generation for everyone. Right?
Absolutely.
That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're making it affordable. We've got some things going on in government right now, right, which could ultimately affect the industry as a whole. And EG4, thankfully, James was very upfront with us when that bill kind of went through the initial pass process and was like, look, we're very well positioned in the industry to manage that if it does actually go into law. So it's a great feature, right?
Absolutely.
So what's some other things that we go through here?
We have a EG4 library that is available not just within the PowerStation, but also on the website. But we are trying to refine it to where whenever it comes to pretty much any information regarding EG4, you can go to your library, whether it's videos, documentation, UL listing certifications, everything that has EG4 in the front of it will be attached into the EG4 library.
And kind of how is that laid out? Is it just kind of like a resources page where guys can go in and they can select, whatever equipment they're trying to look for?
Equipment, documentation. It gets very specific so that ultimately you're not having to fumble through page upon page of things that really don't pertain to you.
Right. You can go and be very specific about what you're looking for. Find that 1 or 2 page of documentation, get it, print it, utilize it, read it, understand it, and learn it.
Absolutely. And not only that, but we've made it to where the library is obtainable in English and Spanish. So any of our Spanish-speaking installers, Puerto Rico, they aren't having to copy paste and hit translate.
Go into that Google Translate and get that guy read up for you.
Yeah, whenever it comes to all of our logos or different things that you want to be featured on your
branding.
website,
Yeah, absolutely.
all of that is available on our website. And as with all of this, documentation, product launches, everything. As long as you have access to that PowerStation, you will be on the forefront of having all that information.
I would love to see it, guys. If you do go in there and get some of that stuff, I'd love to see some co-branded stuff. Your company, EG4, send some pictures with the team, a great looking install. We'd love to see it. It's really what it makes me happy knowing that our systems are being deployed. They're being utilized to give our customers the best possible experience. So, shoot those pictures over. We'd love to see them.
Absolutely. Well, and not to mention, we also, within our forums, I'm all about forums. That way we can kind of see what we're doing for people out there, what kind of trainings we're providing, what kind of events we're, going to and being a part of, how we're interacting within those types of things. All of that, whenever you document it in the right way, lets us see how we succeeded in certain environments, exactly how we succeeded, and what type of products and potential led us to that success, so that whenever we do have a region that is similar to that, we can just duplicate it.
Just jump right over there.
Exactly. And
so one of the reasons I like the forums, and this is going to sound crazy, I love the negativity. I do, because it makes us better as a company. It makes me better as a person, better as a trainer. It makes our team better. So when we start seeing those negative connotations, right, like, oh, this thing didn't work, it didn't operate as designed, that's great. We'd love to get that information, because now we can go back and we can make those changes, or we can address that issue, because maybe you point and clicked right through that training and you didn't get it.
Right.
It's definitely possible, right? I mean, we've seen it.
Exactly. One of the other forums that we have, besides like RMA and different things like that, our support and sales training forums, is the event scheduling forum. And so I think you thought I said forum earlier, but
you were talking forums. Oh.
The forums that are on there.
My apologies.
No, it's Texas accent, dude. Yeah, so the forum is, if you listen, all of you out there, that if you want to do something with us, we have a forum that allows you to let us know who you are, what kind of event that you're trying to set up, how many attendees you're planning on having there, where you're at, what kind of product you're familiar with, what kind of product that we have that you're excited about, and that goes straight to our event and marketing team. And so they can go over that information and see what they can do about getting one of our training buses out there. A couple people from our, a person or two from our sales team, a person or two from our technical team, and run through the product, run through the experience with the people that are out there that are wanting to be part of the EG4 ecosystem.
Nice. I like it. Let's jump into that a little bit more. Is there a calendar base on the PowerStation that you can see events that we're already scheduled to be at? I know we got RE Plus coming up here in September. Is that on the calendar already? Do we have a calendar on there?
We do have a calendar on there. Not everything is on there right now, but we are continuously getting everything updated.
Oh, I know it, man. We just had this conversation yesterday. We've got some updates coming, stuff we can't talk about. We'll get you guys filled in coming up closer to RE Plus on some new stuff we got coming out for sure.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, whenever it comes to that calendar, that is a good way to keep up with where we're going to be at, what we're doing, and who we're partnering with to bring all of this to light. Keep the lights on, if you will.
Nice.
But also on that, whenever you log into the EG4 PowerStation, at the very top there, you'll be able to see the technical support hotline and email address, and you'll also have access to who your account manager is. So whenever you register,
I got to ask you this question, because
sure.
I log into PowerStation, and a lot of times I see different account managers on my PowerStation, right? I don't have an account.
Your PowerStation.
Right. I don't have an account manager, but let's say, I don't know, you're in, Texas, for instance, and you sign into your PowerStation. Does it show your account manager at the top for your region?
Yes.
It does. Okay, so it's a direct link. So now you know who your point of contact is.
Absolutely.
You've got contact information, phone, email. You've got a picture, I believe. I think there's pictures on there.
Yeah, you can even spot him in a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, you can see my ugly mug on there if you log in.
So you'll have a picture of your account manager, all of their contact information. And we highly advise that you use that contact information. Build rapport with them. They're your best friend whenever it comes to all of this. Whenever you're out there and you're needing something, that is your first point of contact. And they might just tell you, listen, go 2 places down, click, and then what you need is going to be right there. They might direct you right back to the PowerStation because that's how useful that tool is whenever you know how to use it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are busy, right? My team is busy. We're out in the field nonstop. The account managers, a lot of those guys are, I'm not going to say all guys because we got a couple of females on the team as well. But they're out in the field as well, right? They're out there making new contacts. They're driving new business. They're expanding business for existing customers. They're not necessarily always going to have time to go, 30, 45-minute phone calls and teach you or send you all these links for, TSBs or, one-line diagrams, whatever it is. So they may, and I agree with you, they may guide you right back to PowerStation and give you just a quick, like, hey, if you go down, left-hand menu bar, 3rd row down, click on resources, click on your inverter, whatever it is. Learn it. Take a little time. Take 30, 45 minutes and just go play around in the PowerStation. It's going to benefit you long term. You're going to learn where all those items are. You're going to understand educationally, if you do run across issues, where you can go find all that information. So,
For sure.
I agree, man. Those guys don't have time to be out there all day on the phone. A lot of these people have 30, 40, 50 different accounts that they're trying to manage.
Well, and that's why it's called the PowerStation, is it allows, you as the distributor installer to be empowered by our brand and have the ability to look for what you need in an easy and accessible way. And I think that's really important just in the regard of before, and I'm not saying that this exists for a reason, because before, whenever it came to support and different things, I hate to say it, but this happens with every company. You get bounced back and forth. You're like, yeah, I talked to Steve, but then Steve bounced me over to Josh, and now I'm back with Steve. What happened, man? Like,
Sure.
Wait a second. I emailed Josh, but now Steve is emailing me back. What's going on here? That does away with all of that touch and go stuff of,
Right.
People falling through the cracks. Whenever you give us the information that we need in the way that we are asking you to do it, and also give you the information that you need, it fills those gaps, and there is nobody falling through anymore. And not to mention, it also gives us the analytics that we need to continue growing and doing
That's right.
better by our customers.
That's right. I know you talked about a couple of forums. I know we've got some changes coming, some stuff we talked about yesterday, but I do want to touch on those because those forums are extremely important. From a support team for requesting support, as well as requesting any kind of sales training. That is something that we do offer. So between the account managers and the technical training team, you can go into PowerStation, and I think it's going to change over the next couple days. But you can go in there and say, hey, I've got a new installation team, or I've got a new branch that's going to be opening in Dallas, Fort Worth, or wherever it is. And they can go in and make that request.
Exactly.
And then we go in and we say, okay, let's get a discovery call. And we're going to reach out to you directly, and we're going to say, hey, look, what is your expectations, right? What are you trying to accomplish with EG4? And from there, we can determine what type of training you need, the kind of resources we need to deploy to support that, and then we can get that on the schedule. As well as we also like to partner up with our distribution partners that invite large scales of installation or installers out to that site, and then we'll do a large scale training. And we can, like you mentioned earlier, right? We can get that bus deployed. We can get a technical trainer out there. We can get the account manager for the region out there, and we can really dive into it. We can get the account manager talking to the sales reps. We can get the technical team talking to the electricians and the installers. Then we've got the bus where everybody can go in. They can get a real feel for the equipment, what it looks like, how it operates. From like an LCD perspective, if you're looking at our older series, the 18K PV, the 12K PV, stuff like that. I know one of our new buses now has our new Flex series for the Flex Wall, Grid Boss, Flex Boss 21, stuff like that in there. So you can see kind of the functionalities. And I know for me personally, I'm a hands-on guy. I don't want to read a manual. I just want to go out and play with stuff. And it's a lot of installers, man. That's kind of what we're about. We don't want to sit in a classroom for 6 hours a day and go through all this. I'd rather sit down with a guy that's an electrician or an installer and him go, hey, man, let's go play with this toy out here. And we go out there and we start playing with stuff and pulling wires and touching stuff. And that's kind of where I get my warm and fuzzies, and that's really where I enjoy teaching guys, because a lot of us in the industry, at least field reps or field technicians, they're very hands-on. They're not the kind of guys that maybe you were a 4.0 student. I wasn't. I was more of a C student, right? I was just kind of floating through life. But I think it really resonates with guys when you can build rapport with with an electrician or technician, because now I'm not just some guy that sits in an office and answers a phone call, right?
sure.
I'm actually out there, I'm teaching him, and I'm showing him with hands-on experience that says, hey, look, I've done this. I know how the system operates. I know best practices to get you to be successful. So that's something that I'm truly passionate about, is utilizing features like that to really drive support and drive knowledge in the industry for EG4.
Oh, absolutely. Well, whenever it comes down to it, not every sales region is going to be the same. Not every region in the United States is going to be using the same kind of equipment. And just to kind of throw it into an analogy, if you walked into a place, you say you're taking your wife to a gala or a ball or something,
Sure.
and you walk in and you're wanting to get sized for a tuxedo, and they just hand you a one-size-fits-all, dude. You know what I mean? You're not going to be wearing that down.
Well, you're not going
to
to look
good.
Yeah, you're not going to look
and
good.
so whenever it comes down to it, that's what we're doing. And that's why I love working with, professionals like yourself that take integrity all the way down to the bone and do the right thing by our customers. And also are constantly striving to better tailor to our customers is, that's what we're doing with this entire process, is making sure that whenever you're walking out and you're showing everybody what you're about, you're looking and feeling the best that you can whenever you're walking into those situations.
Yeah.
We're tailoring that suit exactly to you.
There you go. That's a heck of a way to put it. I mean, look, guys, I showed up in work boots and blue jeans. I'm not a suit and tie guy. I don't sit behind a desk all day. I don't even like wearing monkey suits, so I'm never going to a gala, by the way.
Hey, listen, man. If you need a suit size, I know a guy, okay?
You know a guy?
No, I don't. I don't even own a suit. What are you talking about?
Just kind of caveat on what you mentioned with different regions, right? Having different expectations. One thing that I know that we did recently with the Flex Series is we did away with the LCD screen from the 18K PV to 12K PV. Our off-grid stuff still has the LCD screen, but all the new Flex Series, we've removed it.
Right.
Which has caused, let's call it some pain points for installers because they got used to the 18K PV, which is kind of our flagship up until the Flex Series. And now that LCD screen is gone, guys kind of go, whoa, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You can still do all those settings changes in your the mobile application. You can do it on the web interface if you want to. I'm just going to throw this out there because it's something that I think a lot of people don't know about, is there is an optional LCD screen that can be purchased and installed in that Flex Series, which then gives you that functionality that you're used to with the 18K PV. But really what we did is we took it away to kind of give it cost savings to our installers and ultimately to the end user, the homeowner. If you do want to get that, I don't know pricing on that. I think it's probably a couple $100, I imagine. So that's an option. I know that we also are looking at doing, or it's in the works of doing, a portable LCD screen that'll be mostly installer driven, not necessarily for homeowners, but it'll give them an opportunity to go plug it in, do the settings that they want to do, unplug it, take it with them to the next job site.
Absolutely.
So I know that's something that's in the works. I can't wait for it to come. I want one when I'm out in the field because I don't want to go make all those settings changes on my my iPhone. Right? It's ridiculous. It's a tiny screen. I'm getting old. Vision's
Right.
going. It's not exactly my favorite cup of tea in the world. What else do we got going on the PowerStation, man?
We do have the monitoring system. It's a quick link to that. So whenever you do get in there and you do need to, check a project that you did 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago or today, you can go there, log in, and all your information is going to be right there. For our distributors, we have our price list now attached into our PowerStation. So whenever it comes to pricing and everything.
Now the price list is only available for distribution partners?
Correct.
It's not available to everybody, not installers?
No,
or
it's
nothing
just
like
a
that.
distributor
Okay.
on the distribution side. With that, it's password protected. That way, you know that whenever it comes to the information that you are looking at, nobody has access to it unless they have your password. And so it's
Don't
an
give
ideal
that out.
situation. Yeah, don't give that out.
That's top secret information for sure.
That also being said, if you want access to that information, maybe you should just sell a whole bunch and become a distributor.
It's always an option. Always an option. Let's see. So we talked a little bit about distribution. We talked about some of the technical bulletins that we've got on there, kind of the resources. We talked about the string sizer. You mentioned the battery sizer is coming. Let's touch on the battery sizer. I know I've seen the rudimentary version.
You've probably seen more than me, to be honest with you.
I do work with it quite a bit. One of the benefits of that battery sizer is it kind of lays out all of your higher appliances, right? Your refrigerator, your HVAC system, pool pumps, well pumps. Stuff like that. So what you can do is you can go in and you can select whatever features you want to be backing up, put in their wattage rating, and it's going to tell you right away, hey, with backing up these 7, 8, 10, 12 loads, whatever it is, it's going to identify how many kilowatt hours of storage you need to support that for this length of time. So we take the guesswork out of it, right? Now you're not going to a homeowner saying, like, I think you could probably run your house on 2 batteries.
Yeah,
right.
day and a half tops.
Well, why are we guessing? Why are people in the industry guessing? We've taken the work and we've done it for you. You just got to go in and plug and play the numbers. Right. And let's say that you do it, right? And you show the homeowner, you say, look, we can get you 2 batteries. It's going to last you a day. When the homeowner says, well, I'd rather have 3 days of backup.
Yep.
Okay, so now we've either got to start playing with what load you want to back up, or we've got to start investigating adding additional storage.
Absolutely.
So it really takes the hard work out of it and makes it very simple for a sales rep and a homeowner to come to a concise decision of what their expectations are and what EG4 can provide for them.
For sure. And, that's why it's taken us so long to come out with this, because there are a lot of intricacies that come into it, and we want it to be as accurate as possible. And so whenever we finally do come out with this thing, it's really going to change the game for sales reps and honestly for homeowners if they just want to be able to get in contact with an installer and see what it would take.
Now I'm curious, are we going to have, is the battery sizer going to be available to the general public just via our website, or will it only be available on the PowerStation?
That's a great question. To be honest with you, I am not 100% on that. We may make it accessible for everybody, but as of right now, I believe it's only going to be accessible on the PowerStation.
Only on PowerStation.
It's a PowerStation perk.
So I like it. I agree with you to an extent. However, being the fact that EG4 kind of started as a DIY-based company, right? Like, off-grid cabins, ranches, farmhouses that don't have, solid utility connections. It would be beneficial, right? Because maybe that homeowner doesn't want to do an installer. Maybe he's an electrician in his trade, and he says, look, I want to buy my own equipment, and I want to install it, but I'm not exactly sure how to get there. So maybe we do provide that, long-term on the website just to say, hey, look, if you want to come in and check out our system, or maybe you want to double-check your installer's work. Maybe your installer comes in and says, I want to sell you 6 batteries. Well, now you can go in and you can say, well, this says I'm going to need 3 batteries.
So to talk on some things that are being talked about, I'm not saying that I'm not promising anything anybody, but
no guarantees on this podcast.
They are things that we've been tossing around. We want to make it to where there are certified installers, and certified installers have a portal that is completely opened up to everything. But then we do understand that there are people out there that aren't, doing 10 systems a week or 4 systems or 3, whatever.
Right.
They're just a homeowner. They're just interested. They're a solar geek like we are. And whenever it comes down to it, we want to be able to give them access to this information and education as well. And so we've been talking about opening it up to where you can register and just register as an uncertified installer. And so that wouldn't open it completely up, but you'd have access to the education and maybe a few of the tools. That could be a possibility.
But none of that's been defined yet, right?
Definitely hasn't been defined yet. Don't hold me to anything.
No handcuffs today,
No,
I promise.
no.
We're going to be peaceful today.
Say, man, my boss is going to be talking to me after this comes out.
I hope he does. I know his boss, by the way. Let's see. What else, man? I know there's a ton of stuff on there. I know you guys are constantly working on it. The branding stuff is something I'm really passionate about. Like I mentioned, co-branding. We'd love to see it. Great install photos. We've had some really, really good ones. I know I did a big system out in Pennsylvania recently. What was that, man? I think it was 6 batteries, 2 FlexBoss 21s, a Grid Boss, a generator, and almost 30 kW of solar.
Okay.
And that system was, and I'm not going to throw any shout outs, but he did have 2 smart panels on there. And we did, man, we backed up one of the 200s, and then the other 200 we put on the non-backed up for the Grid Boss, the 2 inverters right there in the hybrid ports. We utilized the smart port functionalities as well for some of his other loads. Generator plug up was perfect. It was just an altogether clean install. The installation team out there did an amazing job. So send those photos in. If you've got something that looks great that you're proud of, which you should be, you guys put in the work. If your homeowner's over the moon about it, they're also welcome to send those emails in, right? Have them take a picture of it. Send it to, I think we've got like an info at EG4, email or something. I'm sure you can find it on the website. I'm not up to speed on all that stuff. It's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, let's see here. So we've talked about, so just to circle back around, this is an all-encompassing thing that helps internals and externals do what they need to do in the best way possible. It's already saved tons of installers and distributors hours of back and forth just by being able to get directed to the right team and provide the right information to have a streamlined outcome within a fraction of the time that it used to take. And then we're only going to get better. It is a possibility to where if you even before you reach out for a sales training or something like that, if you have a new sales tech that you hired up and you just want to set him down in front of a computer for half a day and have him watch the webinars and go through some of the training, you have that accessibility to where you don't even have to call into anybody to schedule anything. You can create your own scheduling, and you can pick out videos that you feel like pertain best to your clientele and create your own structure of what you want your inside sales team to be pitching to people.
Sure.
All by just having a log into the PowerStation.
The technical side of it too. I know the learning and development department, they do online trainings, and I believe all that training is getting transferred over to the PowerStation as well. So guys can go in and review kind of those PowerPoints and those videos and say, hey, okay, now I understand what we're supposed to be doing.
For sure.
So that's going to reduce our technical support time. I know that's been a pain point for a lot of people. I talk to installers every day, most of the day. And a lot of times, the biggest complaint I get is wait times.
Yes.
Guys call into tech support, and a lot of times when you're dealing with guys in the field, sometimes those calls will take an hour plus per
Time is
customer.
money.
And so if you're sitting there waiting 30, 45 minutes to talk to a guy, and he's on another phone call, and all the rest of us are either in the field or also on calls, it's a pain point. But now with the PowerStation, they have an opportunity to go in and be proactive and really do their own research and identify what possibly could be the root cause of their issue. Again, it's not going to solve every problem, right? That's not what it's intended for. What it's intended to do is to reduce pain points. It's to get people more confident with the EG4 ecosystem, get them rolling, get their homeowners' expectations met, and satisfy the customer, right? That's what we're all about.
Exactly.
We want to make these homeowners happy, however that looks. So I think the PowerStation is really going to drive that. It's going to help reduce kind of the technical support wait times, and the calls that we're going to get now will be more severely driven, right? They're not going to be these simple communication failures. Oh, I didn't set the dip switch settings correctly on the battery, because we've got all those videos available.
Right.
So now it's going to be like, hey, I hooked everything up right. I've double checked my work. I'm still getting this issue. Right. Now call tech support, because now we've got the time to dedicate to go resolve that issue versus getting on a phone call for a guy that's like, hey, I can't get this dongle to connect to the Wi-Fi. Okay, well, is it 5G internet? Oh, yeah, it is. Well, that's not going to work, right? You got to spend a couple $100, buy a cellular dongle, we'll get that guy connected in 30 seconds.
Yep.
So I think that's really what PowerStation is going to be all about, right? It is reducing lead times on tech support. It's going to help drive us as an industry leader, right? I think that's my goal here at EG4. That's why I got brought on, was to drive EG4 into the grid-tied market rather than just the DIY, cabin, preppers, stuff like that, guys that really utilized us to be away from society. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I own a cabin that is completely off-grid as well, so I'm on board with you guys.
Lucky.
I love to hunt and fish, man. I like to have power when I'm out there.
You haven't even invited me up to the cabin. What's going on here? I thought we were friends.
Man, my schedule is rough, and so is yours.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
could you
be a lot better with a cabin with solar.
Just imagine, right, if both of us took like a week off.
Okay, we can't do that.
I mean, the world would come to an end.
Yeah, well.
I mean, just that's how cool we are.
We're pretty important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to think of myself that way.
You guys should tell our bosses that we're pretty important.
I would love to see that email, by the way.
No, and I just want to say to everybody out there, if you can think of a way of something that we can put on that PowerStation that better empowers you, that makes life easier whenever it comes to installs, or if you're a distributor that feels like something else needs to be on there or better redefined, our ears are always open. We're always looking to bring this thing to its next evolution. And,
so let's say John out there in TV land, he wants to reach out. He's got an idea. Well, what's the best way for him to go about reaching out to? Of course, he could reach out to his account manager, right, and say, hey, this and this and this is what I want to see. That's always an opportunity. Is there an email that they can just reach out to directly that's just going to go kind of broadband spectrum? Do we have anything like that set up currently?
No, we don't. But I'm going to put a risky maneuver out here.
I think you know a guy that could create that.
I do know a guy that could create something like that. To be honest with you, I'm not. I feel like that's something that should probably be added to the website instead of the PowerStation. But I think it should be both.
I agree, though. I mean, the website would be more driven, right?
A comment box.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. That's definitely something we can look into. And if not, if you're really wanting to make a difference, you can always email into support or our channel email. And that also being said, you can email straight to me if you want to. I go through a ton of emails a day. My name's Royce Naylor, so it's Royce, R-O-Y-C-E. That's like Rolls Royce, just a little less classy. And
a little more sassy, though.
A little more sassy. And Naylor, Naylor, at EG4electronics.com. I will read your email, and I will get it to the right people, okay? Like, listen, I'll put myself out there on Front Street, and you guys can email me directly. If the idea is good, we'll get it on there.
Yeah. Kind of. I know one of the other things I get drawn into a lot of like new product meetings, stuff like that, just to keep the team up to speed on what we're working on, so that way we can be efficient out in the field. If you ever have an engineering idea, right, you want to see, I don't know, the 18K PV in purple. That is something that we have what's called an ECR, an engineering change request. Now, you as an installer, as a distributor, can't fill that out, but you can reach out to your account manager and say, hey, this is something I would like to see. This is a feature I'd like to see. This is, a mounting method I would prefer over what we currently offer. You can submit that, and if it's a valid, and purple, of course, is not going to be valid, but you can submit that to your account manager. We can put that into our ECR request, and then that goes over to our engineering team, and they'll do basically like a cost analysis, right? Is this going to benefit a wide scope of people, right? A one-off? No, we're probably not going to help you out.
Right.
But if it's something that's going to help the industry as a whole or help EG4 as a whole, we're definitely going to review it. And if it's something valid, then we're going to make that change. Because, again, we're trying to make this better for everybody.
For sure.
So if you've got an idea that's going to benefit us as a company and we're going to benefit our end users, our homeowners in the long run, that's something that we're definitely going to review and look into making those changes.
Yep, exactly. And if you guys have any questions about the PowerStation, feel free to reach out to me or
your account manager.
Yeah. And we'll set up a time to go through the PowerStation with you. It's probably going to be a virtual type situation where we're probably not going to do that one in person.
Not getting on a plane.
We will set aside time to go ahead and click through it with you. Make sure that you're comfortable. That way you can utilize it to the best of its abilities.
There you go. I love it. What else you got today, Royce? I know we've
just a smile, man.
Just a Coke and a smile.
That's it.
Man, something I would really like to see on the PowerStation is
no, email it into me. I don't want to hear it.
No.
I'm just kidding.
This revolves around the tech team. I would like to do some bios. Just some quick introductions, right? For especially the technical team.
Okay.
We spend most of our time out with guys in the field. Maybe they want to know who we are before we show up. Make sure that we're just not some office sales guy, right? I'm happy to share my experiences and my time in the industry. Like I mentioned, man, 11 years. I've done everything from procurement and warehousing all the way through operations. Been in training now, man, a little over 7 years. So I'm definitely a good source of resource for, the installers out there that have questions. One of our other trainers, Carlos Prospero, I'll try to get him on the podcast one day. He is our Spanish speaker. He's originally from El Paso, Texas, kind of right there on the border. So he's very knowledgeable. He was one of my electricians in a previous life. Also very experienced. I think he's 5 years in the industry. We are looking to expand that team also. So as we continue to grow, we get some new experiences in. I would like to get those bios maybe up on there so they could go through and see. We're not currently regionally based, as the account managers are. We're kind of just covering nationally at this point. But as the team continues to grow, I think it's an opportunity for us to go regionally. So when you log into PowerStation, maybe the first guy you see is your account manager, and then right next to him is maybe your technical trainer for that region. And then you can kind of look at his background and get an idea of who he is. Look at his face, man. I love to see and interact with people. I hate taking text messages. It's
right.
The pet peeve of my existence.
Well, and that's exactly it. Is we're trying to build rapport with the right people so that you do have a best friend within EG4 that you can reach out to and feel comfortable going through some whatever you're needing, whether it be training, support, or just a shoulder to cry on, you know? Don't.
Easy, buddy. Easy.
I'm just
Before you know
kidding.
it, I'm going to be laying on the couch.
But I think that's a great idea, and I will definitely get with the Tiger team that put together the PowerStation and see what we could do regarding something like that.
That would be awesome. Royce, I want to thank you so much, man, for being on the show. It's been great. Go check out the PowerStation. Send in those photos. Do some co-branding. We'd love to see it. We got cameras all over, Royce, man. You can take your pick. Whatever's your good side. I don't think you have one, just like I don't. But I want to thank you guys for joining. We'll be out next time. We got some new updates. We've got some new products coming out end of the year, so stay tuned. Give us a like and subscribe on the channel, and we'll see you guys next time here on Grid Gone Wild.
Thanks, everybody.